Hello and welcome to this recap of our 6th study session on dashboards. Make sure you catch the live version. I'll link it up in here somewhere or down in the description. But let's go jump in and see how dashboards help us in Jira. Dashboards are another tool that we have in order to learn what's going on in our Jira instance or space. Dashboards are a specific feature that allow us to build a collection of gadgets or smaller reports or visualizations of information and then share them with other users. One important thing to keep in mind about dashboards is they are point in time. They show us generally what's happening right now or in the recent past. This means that dashboards are not necessarily the best tool for comparing trends over time. You might need a different analytics tool for that. Also, we are limited in what we can show in dashboards by the gadgets, the individual things that we can add to our layouts. So there are some limitations to dashboards. However, for most teams, most of the time, it is a great way to get an idea of what's going on. The ability to create and share dashboards is also controlled by permissions. Typically, organizations will allow anyone to make dashboards. Just keep an eye on them and make sure that the ones that you share with your team have been vetted and have been worked on together to make sure they're actually useful. But individuals could go in and make them. One other important thing to understand about dashboards is they are reliant on filters or entire spaces of data. This means before you start building a dashboard, you should step back and plan out what should be on it. Take time to consider what types of information you want to go where, and then figure out how you will get that information. You might have to build out new filters or modify existing ones to make this happen. Dashboards also have 2 layers of control over who can view what's in them. These are not methods of restricting access to work. They are just ways of preventing someone from seeing the dashboard. Dashboards by default are restricted just to you. No one else can see them. This means if you share the link, someone can't see it. You have to actively add somebody. Also, the underlying filters could also be hidden from individuals. So you might be able to access the dashboard and not see anything because the underlying filters haven't been shared. These are very common mistakes. I'll show you how to avoid them. So now that we get the concept, let's jump into Jira Cloud Premium and take a look at some dashboards. Here we are in Jira Cloud Premium, and to find dashboards, we just need to find it in our sidebar. This could be hidden, so make sure you check out more to see if it's hiding. But we'll take a look at an example dashboard first. This is pulling in information from my instance. Each gadget, each space has a name, and then we'll do something with underlying information. In this case, make a pie chart or a donut chart, because there's this nice hole in the middle. This one up here is showing me some kind of statistic. It looks like a count of work items by status. This one down here shows me the average age of work items, etc. Depending on your needs, you can add multiple different gadgets, or even the same gadget multiple times with different filters. It entirely depends on what you want to show. For example, this item here shows me work items that are created, the red line, and ones that are resolved, the flat green line. This is telling me the team took on more work, 5 new work items here, but didn't complete anything. And then this one here is just a list of a filter, all open issues that we can keep track of. We will not go through every gadget in this recap, just be aware that they exist and that many of them allow drill down. You can click on data points to see the specific work items that were created in this time frame or that are part of this metric. Now I can go in and edit this dashboard. This is a permission that I have or access to this particular dashboard. And from here, I can see a slightly different view. I've got all my gadgets in the middle, as well as a list of gadgets on the side. Please make time to review this list of gadgets. You do not have to memorize what is in here, but you do need to know generally what some of them do. For example, the average age chart shows the average age of work items. Created versus resolved, the ones that have been created versus resolved. The filter result shows filters, etc. This could both show up on your exam, but also is good practical knowledge. There are 31 gadgets as of recording that come with Jira. Apps that you have or marketplace apps may add more, so you might get more options. Up at the top, I have things like starring to favorite this one. I can add additional gadgets and even change the layout. Right now, we're limited to up to 3 columns. And also under more actions, I can rename or share, copy, configure an automatic refresh, and make it a wallboard. I'll start with rename or share. This is the same screen you'll see when you make a new one when you save it. Always give it a good descriptive name. It's the only way someone knows what's on it. In addition to a description, please always add a description. The section at the bottom details who it is shared with. In this case, I'm saying everyone logged into this instance can see it. You could be more restrictive. All this will do is prevent someone from seeing this dashboard in a list of dashboards. It does not hide information, so if something's confidential, this is not a way to hide it. Keep in mind that just like filters, if you go and select something, you must click Add and see it show up on this list before you click Save. If you don't do that, it won't actually be shared. There's a similar control for editing. Typically, I will give access to an entire space to view. For example, all of customer support can see it, And then maybe I go to space and I select all of customer support, and anyone with the admin role will be able to edit. This lets me ensure that not everyone can change it, but some people can in case I need to step out. Next, I'll click Save, and that will update the permissions. Next, we have automatic refresh. Because this is a cloud-based application, as soon as I open the dashboard, the data gets refreshed, and then it will just sit there, unless I configure an automatic refresh. This will force the dashboard to grab new data every 5 minutes, every half hour, etc. This is only really needed if you have this up on a screen all the time, like a wallboard, something in your common space. Individual gadgets can also be set to be forced to refresh every 15 minutes. So if you go in here and configure a gadget, there's usually an auto refresh option that does the same exact thing. A wallboard is used if you have a communal space and you want to share this up on a wall. It can be set to cycle through gadgets every so many moments and is a great way to make an information radiator in Agile parlance, so there's always information just visible in your space. Depending on your needs, this may or may not be useful, so it's entirely up to you. To add new gadgets, all I need to do is either click Add Gadget or find the gadget I want to add in here and then click Add. Each gadget will have its own set of features, but keep in mind that new gadgets are always added to the top left of the dashboard. You can then click these 6 dots to drag it around and place it where you want it. From here, I would choose which filter I want to drive this gadget, maybe facilities to do. Keep in mind, if someone does not have access to this filter, they will see nothing in this gadget. Very common source of frustration. You have to make sure they're added to the dashboard up in here and have access to the underlying gadget. That is the first thing to check if someone complains they can't see anything. You can also, in many of these, have an entire project be used. For example, instead of facilities to do, I could have the entire MP space pull in its information. Next, I can choose how many things are displayed, the columns that are displayed, and other settings. Keep in mind that each gadget, again, has its own settings. So as you go in and start to tinker with gadgets and configure, you will see different options for what you can display. Once you're done, you just click Done. This dashboard is now available and shows up under a list of all dashboards. This list shows me every dashboard I have view access to and shows me things like the owner, who can view it, who can edit it, and how many times it's been starred. As an admin, this is also a good proxy metric for how much is it being used. You might review your dashboards and go look at the ones that don't have a lot of stars and potentially edit or remove them if they're no longer needed. So those are dashboards in Jira. They are great for a point-in-time view of what's going on and offer us a lot of flexibility. There are, however, limitations. We have to be careful we share them. We might not have the gadgets we want, and because they're point in time, they might not fit the need. So make sure you're taking time to plan out what you want to see on the dashboard before you start building it. Also, go get hands-on with dashboards just to understand what's in there. I am curious though how you use dashboards or what questions you have. Drop them in the comments below. Also, check out the description for a link to the live version of this and the free companion course to help you get ready to pass your ACP 620 Jira Space Admin. Thanks so much for learning with me, and I hope to see you again here soon.